Okay, so back to duck hunt stuff. So next up we have Patience. It's been like a little hot minute since I think I've done a set critique of him. But either way, back at it again. Finally moved into his new place and finally is able to upload to Smash World. So I'm very thankful for that. So we no longer have just cell phone camera videos. That was a bit hard to critique. So over here, he sent me 3 games, 2 with the Falco, 1 against a Pichu. And unfortunately, it does not go well. So this one, like, I did pay a lot more attention compared to most of the time when I'm looking at videos. But basically, this is gonna be a good video for you guys to watch to understand what bad camping looks like the epitome of bad camping. And I'm going to be pointing out to you guys why reflectors are not a good strategy and why you're probably losing to them. This video will highlight all of that. So, Falco, absolutely busted reflector. Comes out frame 1, goes really far, really, really nice at just like covering a lot of things. He can react to this even online. So, it's really, really good for just dealing with projectiles in general. However, the one thingy that you have with Duck Hunt compared to other projectile characters is you have the flexibility to control them and be independent of them. So that gives you just like way more maneuverability to just like bait out reflectors and punish them for even like attempting it. And that's what you should always be striving for, especially when they're being really, really, really one-dimensional with it. So over here, the little thing I'd like to highlight. I think it was like right before. So after that clay pigeon, it's really important to get your short hops down for this properly. So doing that rising forward air, this Falco actually could have just run up and just like punished Duck Hunt for doing that. But like that's why after you do that, you want to like short hop here and then like fall down with your fair. So that way you land with the sour spot and then you can combo that to another fair, or you can combo that into a grab at this percentage. So at this point, this Falco has established that the only thing he's going to try to do when he sees a can is to press the down B button. And that's it. And that tells you everything you need to know to fight this player. Because it's really, 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 really easy to just get around this. So obviously, don't sit there and wait for the can to go back to you. What you do is you throw out the can in positions where he's going to go reflect it, and you're going to run up and hit him for reflecting it. And that is the entire game plan. The other thing, too, is like he jumps right over him doing the illusion, and if he decided to drift back, he could have back-aired him off stage there. And see, like right there, because it hit the top part of the reflector, it's going to do a really slow traveling arc. So you can just go back down and hit him for it. Or just like go back down and avoid it. You don't need to sit there and hold shield. See, like, even right there, when he threw the can above, like a moth to a lamb, he decided to jump right to it because he just had to reflect that can no matter what he did. And that's just like a very common thing. So if you see him just going to like relentlessly spam his reflector, you don't want to press forward into it. You want to avoid exactly where that's going. Also, if they whiff a grab, you should just always punish it. There's no reason for you not to punish a whiff grab. Yeah, as you see right here, nothing but reflectors. You can just like shield it and punish him for it. Because the thing to remember is like once it hits your shield once, it's not a multi-hit move. So after it hits it, it can no longer hit you on the return. And like overall, it's still a pretty laggy move. Let me double check. The exact frames are. Yeah, it's 44 frames total, so it's the same as you throwing out a can. So that's something you need to remember. As easy it is always to somebody, as As easy as it is for somebody to punish your can pullings, it's the same exact thing for punishing his reflector. The other thing to note about Falco's reflector, let me just double check, make sure I'm not saying this wrong, is look at this. The reflector's a lot bigger than the hitbox. The hitbox itself is only the reflector. And number 2, there's no hitbox on the return. So after that thing has already extended out, you can just run right towards him, and then you can punish him. So you don't even need to worry about that. The only thing that's punishing you at this point is if you decided to throw a projectile right at him. So just make sure you run. Just run at him. Do something. It's the main reason why it's just like, you should not be having a hard time with this reflector. There, remember, if you get a clay pigeon on him at 80%, that should be death for the Falco. Again, that should have been death. So his lasers don't do enough damage to actually break the clay pigeon. So if one goes through, you just dash to him, and then the second it hits him, detonate, and then at this percentage, probably could kill him with a back air. If not, down air would do the trick as well. Because like Falco's light, so down air kills pretty early on him. Also remember, if that can is right in front of you, yeah, if your can is right there, you just hold shield and you wait for the shield can to happen. Like there's no way it's not happening. And if he does actually decide to like run up and grab you, can's also going in that direction as well. Like it'll ping towards Duck Hunt here. So if he decides to throw you, then you can ping the can to like punish him for grabbing you. Again, after he did that full hop, decided to reflector, you had all the time in the world to just run up and just up air him below. There's no reason for you to hold shield here, especially since it was initial launch can too. So it's going to take us a long time before that's going to fall down. But yeah, again, if you have can there and you know he wants to reflect it, just do like a full hop here, wait up here, he reflects it, go down, hit him. Okay, Falco and Fox have the easiest edge guard to like hit whenever they go into Firebird or Firefox, especially Falco, because like his distance is so minimal with the weight, the distance he can travel with it. You can literally go into training mode, find the percent to knock him off at, and then just practice your edge guard timing for hitting Firebird. And every single time this happens to him, he should just die. Like there's no reason for a Falco to live the second he needs to Firebird, as long as you're in position. But yeah, see that right there. Like the clay pigeon's just able to travel right through the lasers. 156 though, clay pigeon's not going to lead to anything, so you don't really want to use that. That's the thing. Like, why are you just standing there? Like, create some pressure. Like, make sure that he knows he's going to die. If you decided to do this for the rest of the 8 minutes here, your clay pigeon would legitimately never kill him. The other thing to remember is like a down gunman will still get blocked, will still block those lasers. So I'll show that off real quick. Here. Falco. Nope. Also, once again, reminder, if you do want to see my Duck Hunt matchup chart, so you can learn what I think about Falco versus Duck Hunt. 2 more subs, and we'll be able to hit that goal. Okay. So, lasers. So, as you can see, it's still... Yeah, so like that's the reason why you just go for gunman. It's gonna block the lasers indefinitely for you, so there's not really a reason not to use it in order just to block them from Falco. Okay. Again, don't want to be throwing against projectiles against like a Falco that's just going to be spamming like crazy if you're that close to him. And that's the thing too, like if he is reflecting projectiles at you, like why aren't you just trying to jump around it as well? Like Clay Pigeon is going to go linear. If he reflects it, it's just going to go straight back at you. Now that's a true combo. There's nothing you can do about that one. Also, I just love how ballsy that call out was. Like, he just decided to just like short hop Clay Pigeon right into him. That's the other thing too. It's just like, you know, with the way that you're playing it like you only have the B button, and like if you jump 10 times, like you automatically lose the game. Like, there's no world where you ever want to be playing Duck Hunt like that. Yeah, at least he didn't try to punish him while he was still invincible. No idea what you tried to do there. But yeah, like you could have done like forward throw, dash attack, and then at least got in that free combo off of that. But at least you're able to throw him off stage there. So something that you need to remember is that when you shield and they illusion, they can't cross you up anymore. So if you just shielded an illusion into you, that would have been a free grab and then forward throw, forward air. Also, something else to remember is Falco's side B sucks in terms of hitbox. So it's not the actual body himself that's the hitbox, it's his phantasm. So the illusion part's afterwards. And not only that, it's just that like the hitbox is like at his legs. So there's really legitimately nothing you ever need to fear about whenever he's doing this move against you. Which I'll point it out again the next time he does an illusion. Yeah, okay. So right there. Oh, it's so hard to time it. Okay, yeah. So the little like phantasms that like appear behind him, which I guess it's a little bit different from what it was in Smash 4. Those are like the hitboxes on them, and it's like behind him. So if you just throw out a hitbox, like if you did an F tilt, that's going to beat it out every single time. And it's better to do something like F tilt than it would be to do like F smash, just because like F smash, like there's frames in between that he could hit you in. So it wouldn't be consistent. Yeah, one thing that Falco does have that's really good against Duck Hunt is his edge guard. He's amazing. Like if he does forward air, he can deal with can and then like fast follow it to like do like the drag down spike, and then he can just like rock kill you with forward air as well. So that move's like super versatile. Yeah, it looks like he tried to do like a RAR there, but really messed up. Yeah, again, you just don't need to be holding shield like this much against Falco. Yeah, a little bit late on that one as well. Definitely could have gotten an up air off that up tilt. Again, just not paying attention to the opponent. Phantasm right in front of him, decided not to grab him. Like this also just kind of highlights why it's really important to watch what your opponent's doing, because like if you're just like looking at him, you'll understand what your next option needs to be. Yeah, again, Clay Pigeon just leaves you so open. Yeah. Again, like, if he's just, like, paying attention, he could just wait, and then when he phantasms down angled F tilt, or actually just up smash him there, he would have died. Again, if you know he's going to Reflector, don't run into the place where there's going to be a reflection. And yeah, there. Nice little down angled F tilt there. That's the thing. It's just like at this point, like when he's invincible, the only thing you should really be focusing on is getting a setup ready that he's going to have to deal with once his invincibility's wear out. You just kind of run away from him. Because Falco can't kill you if he can't touch you. Yeah, that was just kind of a confusing option because like he's been known to spam the Reflector all nonstop. So it's like he could have just like done a fair into him and then that would have led into a little bit more. And there he actually had a chance to get at the triple Clay Pigeon very easily. But he didn't go for it. And like, look, if he just keeps doing that, you just need to remember that on the return hitbox, like there's no hitbox on the return of that Reflector, so he could have rushed him and then like gotten that because it was the lanky gunman. He takes way too long to shoot. If it's orange coat or like if it's lanky and black coat and he's spamming Reflector, you might have a chance to rush in. But if it's the other ones, then you don't jump in front, you don't run in front, you jump and then you punish. Again, it's just like it's simple. Like you're not just playing on the X and Y, like the X axis. Like you have a Y axis, you could jump over to punish him. Biskers. Oh yeah. No, I was planning on reviewing yours later because I'm doing them sequentially, and you're the last one to submit them. Yeah, you don't have to stay up. I meant mostly to just to have them up, so then that way you can watch them in the morning. Yeah, you don't have to do this to yourself. Have a good night, dude. Yeah, again. Whenever they're doing the Firebird, you just need to be ready to just down air them. And he just psyched himself out. Again, that's the reason why we don't do Clay Pigeon. Especially at 0%, like you can just get much better punishes than Clay Pigeon. Again, if you know he's going to fall down and do a Reflector, you don't throw out a projectile in a place where you're automatically going to get punished. Like, you want to make sure that you have ample space to set it up so that way you can go in and punish him. And then, like, if he is going to do it, you just wait for it, and then you just go punish him afterwards. Especially like right here, like he just spammed it 3 times in a row after the gunman was already down. And like he had so much time to just like jump or just like run in against him. It's not like Duck Hunt's a slow character either. Like Duck Hunt has the speed to punish that. So yeah. Never ever do that against like any character with a Reflector. Do not stand there. Do not intentionally throw a projectile in an area where you're going to get punished. And when you throw it in areas where you won't get punished for it, make sure you punish them for going for that Reflector. As this showed, there are a lot of openings, especially if they're going to play that one-dimensionally, where you'll just be able to just like go under them and get those punishes on them. And they make it very, very simple. Like, the thing there is the Falco didn't necessarily need to change up his strategy because it kept working, and Patience had like zero clue on how to adapt there, or he just wasn't doing it and didn't figure out how to do it. That's pretty much what just happened there. But like, as long as you just like take 2 seconds to think, okay, he's stuck there for a while, going for a reflector, and those reflector projectiles are not hitting me in these scenarios, I can run and hit him for going for these certain things, and if he's going to keep doing it, then I can keep punishing him for it. And you just keep doing it until he stops using a reflector, and when he does that, then you can start using your projectiles in the more conventional ways, but you always got to keep it in the back of your head. So like, it's a really, really easy mind game to do, and there's just like a lot of people where like their automatic assumption is they need to reflect every projectile, and regardless of how many times you hit them, they don't understand why they're losing. And like, that's a very common thing on Wi-Fi. So it's like, you just keep doing that until like they figure it out themselves. So Patience, you're the person that had to figure it out for yourself there. But now we got the Pichu matchup. Honestly, matchup's not too bad, because Pichu just dies way too easily. So like, Pichu can do like those things where he can kind of run over you, but he also doesn't have range either. So he has an impossible time dealing with shield can. Not to mention, just like forward air, back air is really, really good at keeping him out. And if you do get any combos on him, he dies ridiculously early. Like, can even consistently kill him at 130. So it's like, it's, considering how safe it is to just like hit him with can, it's really easy to just kind of get around and get those kills. Not to mention, yeah, Gunman kills him pretty early too. So like, this is kind of how you deal with Pichu at first. Like, you just don't want to approach him. You let Pichu approach you. So like, what he's doing here, that's fine. And now we don't have a reflector too. But if you see Pichu running at you, you need to do something. You don't just stand there and do nothing. Also, you need to make sure that like where you're throwing out your attacks makes sense too. Like, you kind of threw a fair out into an area of nothing, and not even an area that Pichu could really reach realistically. I was like, at least that dash attack there, that just looked like an input error. Also, something to keep in mind, if your opponent is not on top of you, there's no reason to do the directional air dodges or the air dodges, because that adds to your lag counter for your dodging. So what you want to do is you just want to cancel that with an aerial. So like right there, when you're that low to the ground, you do up air so you get the auto cancel. If you're high up, you do nair. Also, yeah, basically what you just did right there by summoning the can right as soon as the gunman shot, you basically made it so there was no gunman shot here. So even if Pichu did a standard getup, that gunman shot would just completely miss. So make sure you're launching your can properly when you're trying to do a ledge trap with the gunman itself. Yeah. So like, that's the reason why I tell people not to do up air most of the time, because most of the time they do their up air this high, and then they go into special fall. But if you do nair from this high, then you'll like land with normal lag. If you're over here, you could do up air, you get the auto cancel. Yeah, you got really unlucky with that one. Also, that grab was really weird. So let's kind of point this out. So once you get Pichu into this situation right here, realistically, Pichu cannot go behind because Can should have been falling down there, but he pinged it, which that was bad. And like, you know, he had like the gunman come across here. If the only thing he can really do is like jump up to this platform or try to mad dash to you. And if he mad dashes, then you could just do like a pivot grab, or you can just throw out like a down angled F tilt. And if you trade, you kill him. Instead, just dash grab. Also, like when you get to like 150, 160, if Pichu grabs you, you can't exactly like have an easy way to kill you until like up throw just kills raw, or forward throw kills raw. So shielding against him at ledge is pretty strong, unless like he has like, unless you're like at that mid% range where we can combo off of it. So high percents, you want to shield against Pichu. I'm not sure how that happened because like I'm pretty sure he got hit by the clay pigeon. Let me see again. Oh, that was weird. There's too much knockback from the can, so it just canceled out the clay pigeon there. Oh, that's unfortunate. Otherwise, that would have been a pretty good combo. That was a free back air, but because he wanted to go for the grab, he missed it. Also, dodging to your can is way safer than dodging away from it. And now because yeah, he decided to just like air dodge in, you know, he got hit by that lightning. Yeah, God, Pichu's so light. What's up? Yeah, you do need to get better at like doing your clay pigeon combos. Like at low percents, you're having a really hard time converting the fair. And don't do fair like that too. Like remember, you want to do falling fair when you hit them with clay pigeon, not rising. Rising fair leads to nothing. Falling fair leads to stuff. Low percents. Mid percents, you can only do rising fair. Yeah, F smashing a Thunder Jolt is not really the best idea. Like Pichu's, like when they come down with Thunder Jolt, you have to remember if you do an attack, it's going to cancel out the Thunder Jolt, and then your attack's going to go right through. And Pichu's normally following right behind it, or he's like right in front of it. So you'll be able to hit Pichu, and you'll be able to beat out the Thunder Jolt. So that's a really, really effective way to just kind of deal with it. And if you notice that Thunder Jolts are stale and like they're not killing gunmen in one shot, that means you can clay pigeon through those Thunder Jolts, and you can get free punish on Pichu with that. So those are important things you need to keep in mind. Because Pichu has like a harder time actually getting under clay pigeon now after they nerfed his hurt box. Yeah, you at least had the right idea there, but I don't know if it was Wi-Fi or you just didn't know the spacing. But you see, like, that's the issue there. By you going out of the safety of your can, you're making it so that he can get a free punish on you without having to deal with can. So let's look at that scenario right there and why that was such a big mess up. So you're fighting against Pichu. So even if you guys are at the same percents, Pichu's going to die to your can way earlier than you are. So, you know, at this percentage, like, he's got to be a little scary. So can was, like, right over here, and you decided to go over here. So if you decided to be like air dodge right here and can was still sitting there, Pichu can physically not approach you because if he does, like let's say he grabs you and throws you, okay, whatever, ping can, Pichu's dead. And that's it. Whereas by doing this, like Pichu realistically could have F smashed you and just like finished the game. And again, I have no idea what that F smash was. See, like there you responded to the Thunder Jolt like decently. And that's the reason why you don't go for Clay Pigeon, because Pichu can just run right under it. Not to mention that it's really laggy. And also, by doing those air dodges on stage, you're making it so much easier for him to punish you. If he's at ledge, just go to ledge. So that way you either get a ledge trump or you just like, you get to play like safe there. But yeah, no, you just waited too long. If you did the shield can stuff earlier and forced the trades earlier, you wouldn't have died, and he would have definitely died like way earlier. Especially if his knockback sent to the left too at the ledge, and you wouldn't have to deal with any of that. So just like overall, it was just extremely poor decision making, lack of movement, lack of understanding spacing, no use of like knowing how to use Clay Pigeon and how to combo off of it properly. Like I don't think you got a proper combo at all off of any of them. I think it was just like maybe you hit fair. That was really it. Not really sure when to get those grabs either. It's just like you need to basically work on everything. But the first thing is learn how to use all your normals because you don't use them. But I feel like I remember watching you in the past and you knew how to use your attacks. So I have no idea why you're playing like this. Like I remember you playing a lot, like not great, but it wasn't this bad. Like especially against that Falco, I don't remember you just choking up that much against like a very, very obvious reflector and stuff like that. Like even when you fought a Zelda, I remember you were moving a lot more against her and like actually punishing Nayru's love than just whatever happened with that Falco. So like, you know, go back, make sure you understand how to fight against reflectors, how to move, how to properly use our forward air. Like watch my 5 beginners tips. For the love of God, please watch my 5 beginners tips. And like watch the beginners guide again so you really understand why you use all these moves and how they really work with each other. Because without having that solid foundation, just nothing is going to come together. Like you need to understand how the moves function first and what they're used for. And then you need to build your game plan around how those moves function. Like you don't just sit, hope, and pray and like you think everything's going to work. Like Duck Hunt only works because all the parts move together. By themselves, everything that Duck Hunt has is a very, very tiny gear, and they're not too effective on their own. But when you throw all the gears together, then it becomes a really, really powerful machine. And that's the way you need to look at them. If you're just hitting it with clay pigeons, it really cares. If you're just hitting them with can, it really cares. If you're just hitting them with like you know, tilts and stuff like that, like who really cares? Like all those smash attacks aren't bad, they're not great either. So it's just like you need to learn how they all work together to make this a great character. If you don't, this character's really not that good at all. So just please be way more aware, be able to watch your opponent, but I don't think you're going to be able to watch your opponent until you know how Duck Hunt works and until you can get to a point where you're comfortable moving Duck Hunt without looking at him. Like that's kind of what you need to focus on. Focus on movement and focus on learning the character. After that, then you can get to the other stuff. And I think that's going to do it for this.